Alright guys, in today's video we have some very interesting information about the story of The Last of Us Part 2 to go over. The voice actor of Joel, Troy Baker, who also does the motion capture work, has revealed some really interesting details about what players can expect when it comes to the story of this game. And I'm sure most of you know who Troy Baker is. He's pretty much in every game, but he does do the voice and mocap work for Joel, and he recently gave us a little bit of detail about what the story is going to be like, and it sounds as if it's going to be maybe not what some people are expecting, or a little bit divisive, which is very interesting. And so I'm really interested in this. I want to take some time here to relay this information to you guys because I think you'll find it pretty interesting as well. So if you're still excited for The Last of Us Part 2, make sure you hit the like button to help the video out, and make sure you hit the subscribe button as well so you don't miss any future content. But it says here, the actor who plays Joel shares more teases of what to expect from the upcoming PS4 game. The Last of Us Part 2 actor Troy Baker, who plays Joel in the series, has shared some tantalizing details about what to expect in terms of Joel's story arc and the game overall. Unlike the original game, you play as Ellie in the sequel, but Joel will still have time and space to grow. Baker teased that we will learn more about who Joel is as a person throughout the story of Part 2. What we've done such a good job of doing in The Last of Us Part 2 is to continue to peel back the layers and learn more about him, Baker told Fandom. I even learned more about Joel, and I'm the guy who walked into The Last of Us audition and said, I know the truth about Joel. I knew his truth back then, but after The Last of Us Part 2, I know even more of Joel's truth. The overall story of Part 2, Baker said he hopes the narrative challenges players' expectations of what the game is, what the world is, who the characters are, everything. Baker also said he hopes people can go into The Last of Us Part 2 with an open mind. The story in the sequel might not be what you expect, and this is best experienced with an open mind, he said. I think they will have a completely different experience than if they go in closed-minded, he said. Also in the interview, Baker recalled the first time he heard about what game director Neil Druckmann had in mind for Part 2, which was years ago. Druckmann invited Baker to his home, and by the end of the hour that it took Druckmann to explain the story, Baker was in awe. By the end of it, I was silent, like I was sat at the feet of the greatest storyteller. It was an amazing story, Baker said, the actor who said he expects the story to be polarizing. I don't know whether people are going to like it or if they're going to hate it, but they definitely will not be ambivalent about it, he said. So, yeah. As you guys can tell, these are some very, very interesting remarks that Troy Baker is making here about the Last of Us Part 2 story, and it sounds as if it really is going to make some people just kind of feel a certain way, and that interests me because I have to say something that seems odd about everything we've heard and everything we've seen of The Last of Us Part 2 so far. It just seems too on the nose, and I think that most people are understanding of the fact that Naughty Dog is being very specific in everything they're showing, and they seem to be trying to set up a very basic story, which is somebody who's going out for revenge because something bad happened to somebody they cared about deeply. I mean, it's not really anything new, and to be fair, the whole story of The Last of Us Part 1 isn't anything crazy. It's everything else, all of the details, the nuance behind it, the way the story is told. And I have a feeling that with The Last of Us Part 2, we're going to see a similar situation where the overarching story, the general plot, is nothing really that crazy or new or original, but the way that Naughty Dog is going to handle it, especially knowing that we now have history with these characters and this world, it's going to be done in such a way that it sounds like it, based off of what Troy Baker's saying here, it's going to challenge our expectations. It's going to make us question everything. And what that tells me, and I think that this is kind of obvious based off of what Troy Baker's saying here, is that there are going to be some pretty big twists and some pretty shocking and surprising moments in this game. I don't think anybody doubts that. But some people may not be happy about them, and that really gets my mind racing as to what exactly he could be referring to, because you have to understand that the person who's saying this, they know everything that happens, and they're basically letting us know, look, you need to go in with an open mind. Don't go in expecting that you're going to see a specific story told that's going to be the exact story that you were expecting or that you want. it could very well be something that leaves you kind of questioning like everything about the game and the characters and the world before you went into it. And so I find this very interesting. Honestly, it does get me even more excited for the game because that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I don't want something that's clean, cut and dry, something that's expected. I do want something, for better or for worse, that really just kind of throws me for a loop and I'm just like, whoa, I didn't expect that. And it's interesting that some people may not feel so good about it, whatever it may be, but nonetheless, I am very excited for it. So at this point, I'm going to ask you guys to let me know what you think down in the comments below. What do you think Troy Baker is referring to here? What kind of twist are you maybe expecting? Does this make you a little bit nervous or a little bit hesitant about the game, or have you always approached going into The Last of Us Part 2 with an open mind? I will be very interested to see what you guys have to say. Again, leave the video a like if you did enjoy it or found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.